All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. It is day 29 of the protests in Gwadar. What started off as just a few hundred people protesting in the port city of Gwadar has now turned into thousands upon thousands of people taking to the streets, fighting for their rights, for basic education, infrastructure, electricity, and also for fishing rights in the port. While Balochistan is no stranger to protest, this demonstration has grown so big that it is difficult for the government, any government, to in fact ignore what is happening. And the people in Gwadar have put forth some very concrete demands that they want the government to fulfill. Now, the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has acknowledged these demands and he's promised to take up this matter with Balochistan's Chief Minister. The movement has been named Gwadar Ko Haq Do, meaning give the rights to the people of Gwadar. And this was a movement that was launched last month. The protests are presently being led by this individual that you saw on your screens, Maulana Hidayatur Rahman, a local leader of the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat-e-Islami was once an ally of the Pakistani military, but now it seems to have changed sides. They are mobilizing people of Balochistan and they are putting a lot of pressure on the Pakistani establishment, pretty much on a day-to-day basis. So what exactly are the demands of these protesters? That's very interesting. Looking at how people around the world have been mobilizing on ethnic lines, these people in Gwadar have come together and they are demanding for some basic rights for the people in their city. And this includes a demand for jobs in major projects. They also want to get rid of the humiliating checkposts that have been put in place in the last decade. And the most important demand is that they want the elimination of the Chinese fishing trawlers who've been given the right to carry out fishing activities near the port city of Gwadar. The Gwadar fishermen had to give up on their own fishing spots. They were told that this was for the development of the Gwadar port. They were promised a better economic deal, but this has simply not happened. In fact, their condition has worsened. Chinese fishing vessels are stripping them of their livelihood. Other demands of these people who have come up in their thousands upon thousands include they want their government to provide them with clean drinking water. They want access to electricity 24/7, and they also want restrictions on trade with Iran to be lifted. Balochistan happens to be one of the most poorly developed regions in Pakistan, this despite the presence of rich natural resources there. And WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik has been tracking this story very, very closely for us. All that the protesters are asking for is a life of dignity. They don't want a religious structure to be built in their area. They want the government to actually live up to its commitment of providing them with certain basic civil infrastructure of good education, good roads, good hospitals, and most importantly, to give them the fishing rights in the port in which they live in. Listen in.
जो इलाके है उधर से जब सोना भी निकलता है वो हम लोगों को नहीं चाहिए, जो गैस निकलता है वो हम लोगों को नहीं चाहिए, हम लोगों को जलील ना करे, वो हम लोगों को नहीं चाहिए, हम लोगों को जलील ना करे, हम लोगों को जो काम है बॉर्डर का वो भी हम लोगों को छोड़ दे.
Now, Gwadar happens to be the crown jewel of China's Pakistan Economic Corridor, what is also known as the CPEC. Now, Beijing is pouring in money and it is building infrastructure, but none of this is actually helping the people of Gwadar. They are not getting any of the jobs that are coming into Gwadar. In fact, it has become the embodiment of a sort of a security state, which is what has prompted one of the biggest protests that has been witnessed in Balochistan. And the Imran Khan government can no longer ignore this. Therefore, Imran Khan has had to come forth and issue a statement saying that all legitimate demands of the people in Balochistan and in Gwadar will be met. And also, WION's Anas Malik has been tracking this story from Gwadar. He, in fact, spoke with the man who is responsible for bringing all of these people together, Maulana Hidayatur Rahman of the Jamaat-e-Islami. He's been leading the month-long protest in Pakistan's port city of Gwadar, where he has said that there will be no compromise on the demands that they've put forth to the Pakistani government. Listen in to what Maulana Hidayatur Rahman has had to say.
Do you think there is a nexus between the trawler mafia, as you say, and the administration?
बिल्कुल 100% है. वजारत फिशरीज बलूचिस्तान ट्रॉलर माफिया की सरपरस्ती में मुलव्वस है, बत्ताखोरी में मुलव्वस है, लेन देन में मुलव्वस है. और इतना ये बासर है कि वफाकी हुकूमत भी मुलव्वस है, सूबाई हुकूमत भी मुलव्वस है. 29 दिन से मैं एहतजाज कर रहा है. जब वफाकी और सूबाई हुकूमत ट्रॉलर माफिया को भगाने में नाकाम है, तो इससे लगता ये है कि ट्रॉलर माफिया कवि और बासर लोगों का है.
Do you think Gwadar needs outside help, given that it's already so rich with different sets of resources?
देखिए, हमें ये तो वफाकी हुकूमत का काम है कि इस मुल्क से मदद लेता या नहीं लेता. हमारा जिम्मेदार तो हमारे मुल्क के हुक्मरान हैं, हम इस मुल्क के शहरी हैं. आईन पाकिस्तान के तहत रियासत की जिम्मेदारी है में इंसानी बुनियादी हुकूक फराम करें. हम अपनी हुकूमत से मुतालबा करेंगे, बाहर किसी मुल्क से मुतालबा नहीं करेंगे. और हुकूमत की जिम्मेदारी है कि हमें उस सहूलियात फराम करना, कैसे फराम करेंगे, किस तरह फराम करेंगे, ये हमारी हुकूमत की जिम्मेदारी है, हमारी नहीं है.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.